Imagine for a second that you could just pull out your phone, right? You log into a banking app, and instead of checking, I don't know, the direct deposit from your day job, you were checking the exact mathematically calculated balance of your cosmic karma.
Right, like a spiritual checking account.
Yeah, exactly. What if building up your spiritual wealth wasn't just, some vague concept of just being a good person, but it actually came with a literal fixed exchange rate to the US dollar?
Which is just a wild concept to wrap your head around.
It really is. And imagine if heaven had a tiered payout system for your social media engagement too.
I mean, honestly, it sounds like the premise for uh, a dystopian sci-fi novel, like a Black Mirror episode or something.
Totally.
The idea that salvation could be subjected to this, like, algorithmic payout structure is deeply unsettling to how we usually think about spirituality.
Yeah, it is. But the thing is, we aren't looking at sci-fi today. The framework I just described is very real. It is laid out in the document we are exploring for you right now. So welcome to this deep dive into the source material.
So glad to be here.
Today, we are opening up an English translation of a 2024 document, and it's titled Introduction to the Heavenly Bank. It was written by Swifeng, who is referred to in the text as Deiform Buddha, or the spiritual guide of a movement called Lifechanyuan, and it was edited by Kinyu.
Right. And the mission for you listening today is to explore how this document attempts to literalize a really famous biblical teaching.
Yes.
Like, the text opens by quoting Jesus from the Gospel of Matthew. It's that well-known passage about storing up treasures in heaven where moths and rust cannot destroy them and where thieves cannot break in and steal.
Except, instead of leaving that as a beautiful metaphor for moral living, which is how it's usually read, this text outlines a highly specific, a strictly administrative system designed to do exactly that for a brand new era.
Yeah, it takes it completely literally.
But before we look at the exact mechanics of how someone earns these heavenly treasures, I need to make our objective here very clear to you. We are not endorsing or taking sides on the theological or ideological beliefs presented in this document.
Right, that's crucial.
Yeah. So whether this is divine revelation or, something else entirely is not what we are here to debate.
No, not at all. Our goal is to take a strictly impartial, analytical look at the systems. We're looking at the economic structures and the logic contained within the original text itself.
We basically just want to understand the architecture of these ideas.
Exactly. And to understand that architecture, we first have to establish the timeline. Because according to this text, humanity is currently on a very real ticking clock.
Right. Like, why does a heavenly bank even need to exist right now in the first place?
Well, the heavenly bank is tethered to a highly structured apocalyptic and utopian timeline. The text declares that humanity officially entered something called the Era of Lifechanyuan on January 1st, 2018.
Wait, hold on. January 1st, 2018, that was years ago. If the clock started back then, does the text explain why the rest of the world hasn't really noticed this massive cosmic shift?
It actually does. It addresses that by breaking the timeline down into very specific phases.
Okay.
So starting from that 2018 date, the text claims we are currently grinding through a 30-year period of purification and elimination.
Oh, wow. Purification and elimination.
Yeah, it's intense. It says the profound changes are happening, but they are playing out as global turbulence.
Ah, so all the chaos we see is part of the 30-year phase.
Right. And after that 30-year window closes in 2048, there is a 10-year adjustment phase.
Okay, an adjustment phase.
And the end goal of all of this is a harmonious world of unity, a future where the entire globe is one family, and they get to experience 1,000 years of enduring peace. And this is specifically noted in the text favorable weather.
Okay, let's unpack this, because if you really think about it, this timeline is like the ultimate grueling startup phase.
Oh, that's a good way to look at it.
Humanity is essentially undergoing a painful 30-year corporate restructuring. And then we get a 10-year beta test to iron out the bugs, right? All leading up to this massive 1,000-year utopian IPO.
That IPO analogy is actually spot on. Just like early startup investors, the text requires believers to take on immense near-term risk.
The purification period.
Exactly. You take on the risk during purification for a guaranteed, outsized payout when the new world goes public. And that future world is where the economics come into play.
Right, the bank part.
The document states that in this 1,000-year utopia, traditional banks and fiat currency will completely vanish, like entirely.
That's gone.
Gone. They will be replaced entirely by the Heavenly Bank's proprietary currency, which is called F-Coin.
F-Coin, yeah.
And citizens of this new era will use F-Coin to access their, quote, rightful benefits.
So F-Coin is the early stage equity. You are getting in on the ground floor before traditional money goes completely obsolete.
What's fascinating here is how this text masterfully merges historical millennialist traditions with highly modern, systematic economic anticipation.
Yeah, explain that a bit more.
Well, it takes the deeply historical theological framework of a coming 1,000-year golden age, which is a very old idea, and it strips away all the ambiguity.
Oh, I see.
By attaching a literal countdown and introducing a proprietary digital currency meant to replace global finance, it gives believers a concrete, scheduled reason to invest their time and resources today.
Right, because if you genuinely believe the US dollar is going to zero and F-Coin is the future global standard, you'd be crazy not to start accumulating it right now.
Exactly.
Which naturally leads to the immediate question. If fiat is crashing, how exactly does one accumulate F-Coin today, right in the middle of this 30-year purification phase?
And the answer the text provides outlines a highly specific, gamified gig economy.
It is wild. I am not exaggerating when I say this reads like a monetization guide for content creators.
It really does.
The document starts with direct financial contributions, and there is a literal fiat peg. Do you have the exact exchange rate there?
I do. The text states that a financial contribution of $1.50 to Lifechanyuan's cause equals 1 F-Coin.
Wait, $1.50?
Yep. So if you donate $150, you are credited with 100 F-Coin. The exchange rate is locked in.
Setting an exchange rate at exactly $1.50 is such a fascinating psychological trick.
How so?
Well, it gives it a veneer of legitimate macroeconomic policy. It doesn't sound arbitrary like $1 or $10, you know? It sounds like a calculated Forex rate.
Yeah, that makes sense. It grounds the spiritual concept in a very mundane financial reality. But the financial peg is just the baseline. The document places an enormous emphasis on digital labor and content creation.
This is where it gets crazy.
If you write articles promoting the Lifechanyuan philosophy and their second home model, you earn 10 F-Coin per article.
But are they just paying for volume, or is there a quality control aspect to this heavenly payout?
Oh, there is quality control. The text sets a strict minimum standard of 1,000 words per article.
Wow.
You can't just dash off a quick thought on a blog. It has to be substantial.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Because if you think the article word counts are strict, the video production rules are on a whole other level. Can you walk us through the video tiers?
Yeah, so there is a rigid structure for making promotional videos. If you produce a video under 1 minute, you get 1 F-Coin.
Okay, the shorts or TikTok tier.
Exactly. A video between 1 and 3 minutes earns you 2 F-Coins. A video between 3 and 5 minutes gets you 3 F-Coins. And the maximum payout is 10 F-Coins. And that goes to videos that are between 5 and 30 minutes long.
The precision is just staggering to me. It is literally assigning exact spiritual value to audience retention metrics.
It is.
And my absolute favorite detail is the cap. Does the text explain why a believer wouldn't want to make like an hour-long documentary to spread the word?
It explicitly states, and this is a direct quote, videos longer than 30 minutes are not needed.
That is amazing. Even heaven apparently cares about algorithmic optimization.
Right.
They know that viewer drop-off is too high after a half hour. You get 0 cosmic credit for making a feature-length film. I mean, the Heavenly Bank is basically running a highly structured affiliate marketing campaign.
It is amusing on the surface, but it actually represents a profound shift in how spiritual practice is defined and experienced.
What do you mean?
Historically, religious texts offer broad qualitative instructions, like spread the word or be a light unto the nations.
Right. Very poetic.
Beautiful sentiments, yeah. But they are incredibly difficult for a follower to measure. Am I doing enough? Have I spread the word enough today? What this document does is quantify spiritual devotion into measurable KPIs, key performance indicators.
Wow. It turns abstract faith into tangible, trackable digital labor.
And it completely removes the guesswork. For a follower navigating a chaotic world, this could be deeply comforting. You don't have to wonder if you were good enough today.
Because you can check the math.
Exactly. The text even states that forwarding 10 items related to Lifechanyuan on social media gets you 1 F-Coin, and forwarding 100 gets you 10 F-Coin. You know exactly what your spiritual balance sheet looks like before you go to sleep.
It's like logging your calories, but for your soul.
That's a perfect analogy.
Okay, so say you've hit your YouTube metrics, right? You've forwarded your 100 posts. Are you
Ah.
done? Or does this spiritual gig economy bleed into the physical world at all?
Oh, it definitely bleeds into the physical world. The sweat equity aspect of the F-coin economy is just as meticulously detailed as the digital side.
Okay.
It moves from content creation directly into physical recruitment in real estate. For instance, finding one natural Chanyuan celestial yields 10 F-coin.
Wait, what exactly is a natural Chanyuan celestial?
The term implies finding and bringing a specific type of aligned receptive individual into the movement.
Ah, so it's a recruitment bounty.
Essentially, yes. But the physical requirements scale up massively when it comes to real estate. The text says that if you provide a venue for 30 people to use long-term for what they call the second home, you earn between 100 and 10,000 F-coin, depending on the value of the property.
100 to 10,000. That is a massive jump in payout. What is the second home? Why do they need properties for 30 people?
The concept of the second home is central to this entire architectural framework. It suggests a physical commune, like a shared living space for believers to actually weather this 30-year purification phase together.
Oh, got it. So it's survival prep, basically.
Yes, and building and maintaining that physical space requires manual labor. The document states that participating in the construction of the second home earns you 1 F-coin per day.
Okay, but there's a catch to that daily wage, isn't there?
There's a very specific condition attached, yeah. You only earn that 1 F-coin per day if your labor is considered a merit.
A merit.
Right. And the text explicitly defines a merit as daily effort is greater than daily gain.
Wait, how do you even measure that? It's like a divine minimum wage, but the primary requirement is that I have to operate at a personal deficit.
Exactly.
Like if I enjoy the work too much, or I don't know, if I eat too much food at the commune that day, do I lose my heavenly payout because my gain was too high?
It is a fascinating mechanism for ensuring self-sacrifice.
Yeah.
The system demands that you give more than you receive in the physical realm in order to be compensated in the spiritual realm.
That's clever.
It actively prevents grifters from joining the commune just for free room and board. And for those who do operate at a massive deficit and go above and beyond, the text mentions that exceptional contributions can earn up to 100,000 F-coins.
Which brings up a huge logistical question for me. Let's say I write my articles, I operate at a personal deficit at the second home, and I earn my F-coins. How does the transaction actually clear?
What do you mean?
Well, we're dealing with a spiritual bank here.
Yeah.
Does the greatest creator just magically update a ledger in the sky that I can, feel in my heart?
Oh, no. The administrative process is entirely earthbound and highly bureaucratic.
Really?
You can't just silently pray for your F-coins. The text mandates that to claim your earnings, you must present physical evidence of your contributions to a designated Chanyuan celestial.
I am sorry. I literally have to submit an expense report for my salvation.
That is exactly what the text describes.
You're kidding?
Nope. The community leader then submits your evidence for official recording in the Heavenly Bank, and you are issued corresponding F-coin notes.
I have to save my receipts, show them to middle management, and get them officially logged to get paid by heaven. That is wild.
It is wild, but it raises an important point about the function of this text. By requiring believers to submit proof to a Chanyuan celestial, it grounds the movement entirely in physical reality.
Right.
It isn't just a private internal belief system. It forces interaction. It reinforces a hierarchical earthly administration. You literally cannot bypass the community leadership to get to the divine reward.
So you can't just be a solo player practicing in your living room. You have to be in the system reporting to the hierarchy.
It brilliantly intertwines heavenly rewards with earthly administrative compliance. It builds a social fabric, a power structure, and a physical commune, all fueled by the pursuit of this future currency.
Okay, so we've got the 30-year timeline, we've got the digital gig economy, and we've got the physical real estate and expense report bureaucracy.
Yeah.
So what does this all mean? How does the document wrap all these administrative spreadsheets up?
Well, it doesn't end on a mundane administrative note, if that's what you're thinking. After detailing all these meticulous exchange rates, the text takes a sudden, incredibly grave turn.
A grave turn.
Yeah. It shifts abruptly from bureaucratic policies to apocalyptic stakes. The conclusion of the document serves as a final, urgent warning. It claims that those with spirituality can use silent prayer to perceive the profound changes happening on Earth right now.
And it explicitly defines this current era, this 30-year purification phase we're supposedly in, as a critical period of life and death.
Right.
That is intense phrasing compared to the previous paragraphs about, like, video links and forwarding posts.
It is meant to jolt the reader. The ultimate warning the text delivers is about personal responsibility during this turbulent time.
Okay.
It states that everyone has the opportunity to choose their direction. However, if suffering or misfortune arises, individuals will have no one to blame.
Nobody to blame.
The text dictates that you cannot blame heaven, you cannot blame earth, and you cannot blame the greatest creator.
Yeah, and that sounds exactly like a cosmic liability waiver.
A cosmic liability waiver, yeah.
It's as if the Heavenly Bank is saying, look, we gave you the exchange rates. We gave you the exact terms and conditions for survival. If you crash during the purification phase, it is entirely on you.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the psychological weight of this conclusion is immense.
I bet.
On one hand, it deeply empowers the follower. It gives them complete agency. You are given the exact tools and the F-coin ledgers to earn your place in the utopia. Your salvation is in your own hands.
But the flip side of that total agency is total liability.
Precisely. By stating that suffering and misfortune are strictly the fault of the individual's choices, it entirely absolves the divine of any responsibility for human suffering during this 30-year period.
Wow.
Traditional religions often struggle with the problem of evil, why bad things happen to good people. This text solves that problem instantly.
Because if things get really bad in the world before 2048, a follower might naturally look up and say, why is God letting this happen?
Right.
But this document cuts that doubt off at the pass. It says, don't look up, look at your ledger. Did your daily effort exceed your daily gain? Did you write the 1,000-word articles?
It creates a closed ideological loop. Success and survival are proof of your compliance with the Heavenly Bank system. Suffering or failure is proof that you didn't accumulate enough F-coin.
That is so effective.
It is a highly effective way to maintain faith and order within a movement when the outside world feels chaotic and unpredictable.
When you step back and look at what we've unpacked for you today, it is just incredible how a single text manages to merge things that seem completely contradictory.
It really is unique.
You have the ancient Gospel of Matthew sitting right next to a 30-year apocalyptic countdown. You have the promise of a 1,000-year utopia. But to get there, you have to hit your social media engagement metrics and cap your promotional videos at 30 minutes.
Yeah, no feature-length films allowed.
It takes the most profound mysteries of existence and turns them into a fully functional, highly regulated celestial gig economy.
And it leaves us with a fascinating philosophical dilemma, which circles right back to a quote from the text's author, Kuifeng, near the beginning of the document. He writes, "Where your heart resides, there you shall go in the future."
Which is a beautiful thought on its own.
It is. But this document literally equates one's heart with their F-coin ledger. It makes the spiritual mathematically quantifiable. And that is the thought I want to leave you with today to mull over.
Okay, let's hear it.
If your own spiritual or moral compass were suddenly quantifiable, if every good deed, every moment of patience, every act of charity could be measured, tracked, and displayed on an administrative spreadsheet today, complete with a dollar peg, would it change why you do good things?
Oh, that's a great question. Does gamifying salvation with a currency like F-coin corrupt the pure intention of doing good? Or, I don't know, in a world that often feels chaotic and morally ambiguous, does it simply clarify exactly what it takes to build a better future?
When the X-ray of the soul is replaced by a bank statement, we have to ask ourselves what we are truly investing in.
That is definitely something to think about the next time you decide to forward a post or log your daily effort. We want to thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the source material today. Keep questioning the systems around you and stay curious.